one. But this video is a comic review video. This is going to be one of many here on my channel where I'm going to be reviewing comic books, or I should say graphic novels. And when I say review, I mean recommending. Because obviously I'm not going to go into a full depth review because I have so many comics I have to do in one video, so I can't get through them all. So that said, I'm going to be posting all of these books and graphic novels that I list in this video down below in the description for you to buy for yourself. I would highly recommend these. These are books that I own personally and that I have purchased with my own hard-earned cash. So with that said, let's get on to the first book, and the first book we have is a comic book. Well, all of these are comic books, but they're in graphic novel format, meaning that it looks like a book. As you can see here, this looks like a normal book. This is by Image Comics, known as Echoes by Joshua Hale Falick and Razian Edikiel. This is called Echoes. Now, from the cover it looks kind of strange. If you take off this, you can see it's this perverted little doll woman. Kind of creepy. But when you open up the book inside, it is black and white comics, as you can see here. So it is a comic book in a hardback format, as you can see. But this book is extremely violent and dark. And believe me when I stress the point is violent and dark. This was voted one of the top graphic novels when it was written. Just to give you a little insight of what the book's about. A story of madness, family, and death, Brian Cohen was learning how to deal with schizophrenia inherited from his father. His supportive wife, new baby is on the way, drugs to control the voices. But when at his father's deathbed, he learns that he also inherited the trophies of his father's career as a serial killer. His illness threatens to send him down a path towards madness, and so yes, this is about a serial killer going around and killing people. This probably will bring back some memories of the TV show Dexter. It's kind of like that in a way. You know, it's dark, it's gritty, it's brilliant. The art in this book is phenomenal. I mean, I realize it's black and white. A lot of people don't like black and white comics, but I do. I like color and I like black and white, so I would highly recommend this. This is only $13 on Amazon, so it's not that expensive, and it's about how many pages? It's almost 200 pages, so it's a good size book. Definitely recommend it. Second book we have is well, actually you can't see this, but on the side of my wall right here are a bunch of comics on the wall. And those same comics are everything in this book right here. This is Volume 1 of Spawn Origin Collection, Book 1. There are a total of 6 books out right now with all of these. They contain about 15 comic books in one version. So instead of buying comic books separately for $3 each, you pay $20 and you get 15 comics all in one, and it's usually cheaper that way. I have other 6 volumes right up there in the corner, but nonetheless, Spawn is one of my favorite comic book characters, and the reason he's one of my favorite comic book characters is because it deals with the concept of hell. For those of you who don't know, Spawn was a character that was an assassin, and when he was killed in action, he was sent to hell, and he was supposed to make a deal with the devil. The devil granted him all these powers, and basically made him what is known as a hell spawn. I'm not going to go into detail what that is, but it's a pretty scary looking type of guy. Nonetheless, he rebelled against Satan or the demons in hell, and when he was sent back to Earth to take out, you know, bring people to hell and all that stuff, he started to use his powers for good. And by using his powers for good, I mean he basically turns out like the Punisher, where the Punisher goes around and punishes the people who need to be punished. Like so, Spawn does the same thing. Spawn has a gazillion, jillion, bazillion powers. He's probably one of the most powerful comic book characters, and I actually think he could probably beat Superman in a fight, based upon all of the powers that he does have. Nonetheless, this book, Spawn, the character in the world of Spawn, is extremely dark. It's probably one of the darkest comic series that you will probably read. Okay, maybe not read, but be exposed to. For example, there's in this series of, I think it's in book 2, there's known as the Ice Cream Man, who captures young children, takes them into, you know, he's an ice cream guy, and when they buy ice cream, he kidnaps them, takes them to his house, and then molests them sexually. Now, it never shows this, but it alludes to the fact that he's a child predator. And one of the ways Spawn deals with this by killing the man is strangling the guy in his garage, and then hanging him up by chains in his garage, and then using wooden stakes and carving them, and then stabbing them into his body. That's how Spawn dealt with this child predator who was hurting young children. You may think that's a little grotesque or brutal, but nonetheless, I like dark comics, and if you want a dark comic, Spawn is definitely one of those comics. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very dark. It deals with hell a lot. I mean, it's just... the whole book is, the whole series, and actually Spawn is still ongoing to this very day. Spawn comics are still being made, but I really recommend Spawn if you like dark, gritty stories, because the story's still going on, comics are still being made, and the hardback versions are still being put out in production. Every about 6 months they bring out a new book, and they're on comic book, I think, 300 and something, since these comics started out in the early 90s, and they're still going to this very day. So I would really recommend, if you like dark stuff, go with Spawn. You can't go wrong with him. Book 3. Yes, 3. And it has to be Star Wars. I mean, I have tons of Star Wars comics, but this is Star Wars: The Dark Empire. Now, this looks like a full-size book. This looks like a book you'd pick up at a bookstore. This is not. This is a comic book. It is all comics. The whole entire book, as you can see from here. Everything is all comics, just like a normal comic book you would read. Definitely, it's a full. It's almost 300 pages, so it's a normal size book, but it's a normal size cover to cover in page length. The crazy thing about this book, and why I like it so much, is it takes place, and I'll read you the little description inside. 10 years after the fall of Darth Vader, the Emperor of the Return of the Jedi, the new Republic has been formed, for the galaxy is not yet free. The Empire has been mysteriously reborn under the unknown leader, wielding a new weapon of great powers. Princess Leia and Han Solo struggle to hold it together and defend the new Republic, while the galaxy's savior Luke Skywalker fights the inner battle as he is drawn to the dark side, just as his father was. It is a struggle that will set Luke on a quest to rebuild the Jedi Order and himself, but even as Skywalker searches for the galaxy for the Jedi who might have escaped the Purge at the end of the Clone Wars, another battle looms. This is actually, you can buy the single-handed comics, but again, it's cheaper to buy this as a whole instead of all the comics that go along with it. It's all in one book, and it's light, nice and easy. It's called Star Wars: The Dark Empire Trilogy. As you can see, these links are all down below in the description. For those of you who are not into Star Wars history, Luke actually does go to the dark side in his stories after Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And he goes to the dark side, and then he actually somehow comes back out of the dark side. I'm not going to spoil the plot for you, but it's really interesting, and I really encourage it as you meet a bunch of new characters within the Star Wars universe. And the final book, which is probably my most favorite, and I think a lot of people will know what this is, The Walking Dead. This, actually, yes, for those of you who don't know, the TV show is based off the graphic novel. This is the graphic novel. This is volume 1 of, there's I think 7 volumes out right now of the hardback version. Again, you can buy these single-handedly at a comic book store, run you about $3 each, but if you go on, buy the hardback version, it's cheaper, it's just nicer to have it in a hardback format like this. For those of you who don't know, The Walking Dead is kind of like a zombie apocalypse. It's all black and white comics, as you can see here. It's really a lot of it's based off the TV show, although it's not using the exact same characters and everything. But I really recommend this if you like zombies. I'm a big zombie fan. In fact, I wish the zombie apocalypse would happen right now, because living in a world like The Walking Dead would just be awesome, in my opinion. You may not think so, but the zombie apocalypse would be like one of my dreams to come true. I know I would survive, and but yeah, it's a continuing story. It's a survival horror book based upon zombies, and people are dying, and resources are running out. I know there's a lot of zombie comics and books and TV shows on zombies and movies on zombies, but if you really want something that's good, get The Walking Dead graphic novel. You cannot go wrong with this. It is well written. The art is beautiful in the black and white format, and it's easy to read. Please buy this book if you like zombies. I know I do. So with that said, this sums up Comic Reviews Episode 1. I will have plenty more of these coming up when I'll be reviewing other books you would like to buy or read or whatever. So with that said, again, all the links are down below in the description. Check them out, buy them, do whatever you want, and thank you for watching. And I love my little oh my gosh pillow. Oh my god pillow. I need to get a LOL and WTF, and then I'll be set with all my little geeky pillows. So that said, peace the rep out.